All right, then we'll show up on.
It should.
Where will we show up?
This is our latest little blast from about you.
We'll show up.
Okay, I think we got it.
Cool.
All right.
But we don't have Kadena there, is it, the gallery?
And we're really, there's a huge delay.
Where's the gallery?
It should be at the
I
top
think we got it.
or more or something. View,
All right.
is there a view? We don't have Kadena.
Isn't there like an ad or gallery
Where's
or group?
the gallery?
But again,
More or something. Yeah, how come you're not getting everybody?
Okay, I think we got it. Why is there such a delay?
There's an incredible delay.
Yeah, I think there's always, what about with the little?
yeah, we're not supposed to have a 5-minute delay or a 3-minute delay.
Okay.
We can't have a meeting if that's happening.
Well, yeah, because it.
We were better off with what we had.
Right.
Yeah.
Did we have them on there earlier?
Well, we have
Yeah,
on
we were
Zoom.
talking
on there,
We
but
were
it was on
talking to them, you
Just
could
couldn't
see
see them,
Go
and then
to
you
the
guys
Zoom.
went to
Go to
YouTube
Zoom.
or something,
Yeah.
and they disappeared.
And then go to
them.
that.
Yeah, now,
There you go.
everybody's there.
There we go.
Got it, okay.
All right,
All right.
all right. Oh, they don't have their phones on.
Oh, we got more time. Woo-hoo.
Well, I don't know, I think they could see one another on their phone.
Can you guys see us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we can't see you. Maybe you have your camera off, but that's fine.
All right.
Are we ready?
Whenever we're ready, we got.
We're good to go? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, good morning and welcome to all to the March 9, 2022 regular meeting of the Washington County Board of Elections, and a special greeting to our newest member, Robin Bozian.
Thank you.
And we're joined by Mr. Wentz and Mrs. Ritter by Zoom. And I guess I'll ask this question. Do they have an agenda?
I don't know that they might not have an agenda. Is there a way that if I take a picture and text it to you guys? Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I will try that.
The first thing on the agenda as always is public comment, and there is no public. And our liaison fella, Caleb, is in the middle of I-77's median, having slid off of the road
Oh,
and deposited his car there. Apparently in other parts of Ohio, there were at least momentary whiteouts. We're having snow.
and we're having snow right now.
Yeah, we're having some rain, snow mixed with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, big drops of flakes, so we're not going to have Caleb. You should have received email-wise minutes for both February 11 and February 28. I think they came yesterday or the day before. I know I looked at them yesterday.
And I just texted you both the agenda.
Thank you.
Mhm. I know in the February 28th meeting minutes, I didn't elaborate as much as we probably should have, but because of the whole purpose of that meeting was the Belpre levy.
Right.
So, but I think it suffices.
Yeah, and the purchase of the voting booths.
Yeah, and the purchase of the voting booths.
Which you got down.
Kadeen, I don't know if you heard me. I told Charlie, we have a check for you for your reimbursement from the conference.
Yep, I heard you.
Okay,
Thank you.
so whenever you come in, Kadeen, the next time you are around, if you want to stop by and we can give that to you.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Do I have we read them enough to
Yeah, I
have
move
it?
to approve both of the minutes from the February 28th. I don't have the dates in front of me.
In February 11 and 28?
Yes, February 11th and 28th meetings.
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, passes. We'll at least start taking one of these and getting them signed off and so forth. And they actually have you on the second one, Robin.
Yeah, she wasn't.
You were here to know that that's what happened. You could probably sign both as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
because you're now a board member. Bills, if you can see them, the only really large one is what we already voted on, and that was that the voting booths, and it came again for a total of $6,769.70.
And the booths have arrived, except for one. They messed up and sent us only 5 when they should have sent us 6.
Because we already had the.
Because we had one.
Right, okay. So hopefully
But it'll
that's,
be here before.
hopefully the check's in the mail, so to speak. Okay.
And then there's the one there for the shredding. They shredded almost 3,500 pounds. And it cost us $524.55. So
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is.
I think prices were gonna be going up though, didn't he say? He
yeah,
got last year's price because he had quoted it to us.
yeah,
Then,
but
so
I imagine
next time
fuel
prices
costs
might
and
be
everything else, we're gonna
higher.
have, like.
Well, maybe by the time fuel will be free, who knows?
It's just too bad that was a service that we could have taken, we used to take to Globe,
And got it for
and they just
free.
incinerated it. But,
All in
Maybe
all,
someone
this
there will
is a-
change that.
Don't you have to have, you have to have a trail though, right? Isn't that?
as long as we physically see it,
Well, yeah.
But then
we had to have a
have
DNR go and see it be shot into the furnace.
And that's not allowed now?
Well, because a sheriff's department, not ours, gave them live ammunition.
Because they did it for other people. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah.
And I think there was a couple casualties.
They're just kind of scared.
That would scare the crap out of me.
So Globe is no longer offering those services.
Okay.
Our next item, and again, if you can see it on the agenda, you won't have these. They're all directives, et cetera, and I'm going to ask Mandy to just briefly go over each one.
Did we approve the?
Oh, we got to vote on the bills, my bad.
I move to pay the bills as presented.
I'll second that.
We had a motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. All right,
All
correspondence.
right, so the directives. The first one, the 2022-23, is about it's our NCOA supplemental process. So these are people that's completing the process that was started in 2018. So these people haven't voted from 2018 to now.
And
Or
they
has
had
any
NCOA.
activity with us, yeah. So an NCOA is National Change of Address. So they either haven't voted or they've changed their address. So we send them, it's kind of like, they call it now a registration readiness is what the mailing is called. But it's kind of like a last chance reminder to these people, vote or send us back or update your address, some kind of activity, sign a petition. And that'll get you updated so that your registration won't be deleted.
And that was the 1,100
Yeah, we
That
sent out
we
1,100,
yesterday.
letters, yeah. So they had to go out by yesterday and we got them out, yesterday. And then the 2022-24 was a list of our candidates, that'll be on the ballot for the May primary.
Statewide.
Yeah, statewide candidates. 2022-25 had to do with our ballots, layout of our ballots, for offices that were not impacted by the redistricting. So this would be statewide and local, candidates and issues. And then the 2022-26 is, what was the most recently voted on House, State House and Senate district maps by the Redistricting Commission that provided us with all the different files listed there, a House shape files, a Senate shape file.
And as it currently stands, we are the most populous county in the 95th.
Yeah, the 95th House District.
So that entails us to do a little more work than normal.
Yeah, so we would have to certify, it's on our agenda, certify those candidates.
That other counties have,
Yeah,
They had to decertify.
Yeah,
right,
so since they had originally, it was Guernsey County, they had originally certified them, so they had to decertify them, and now we get to certify them.
And of course, there was just one small petition from Washington County. We had already certified those or verified those signatures.
Yeah, all the signatures were already
So,
verified by them.
I think it's weird that we verify somebody else's.
Well, we
petitions. I know.
don't verify them, I mean, we just certify.
we accept them.
Yeah.
as
We accept
verified.
that, well, the other
What they're
county
saying.
has already done the verification.
signatures.
So they verify, they send it to us, and then we certify.
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
Right, that makes sense.
So, and then there's the 2022-27, which is for the US House of Representatives district maps. And, so we just got that this week.
And the
so.
6th district is the only one we have.
Yeah, so with the newest maps that were passed, we stay all in the 6th congressional district.
But that district now goes clear up into Canton, and Akron.
Yeah, it's kind of a long, skinny,
It's a river.
You can
Yeah.
see, if you're interested, you can see the maps. I think,
Yeah,
we can send them out to you guys if you want to see them. And
But now this is all contingent, right, on what
Right,
the
on
Supreme
what the
Court says, so
Supreme
this
Court
may
does.
change
Well,
in
yeah,
some way.
right.
we're plowing forward.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we've been in one of these directives, we're instructed by the Secretary of State to update our voter registration system. So we had to, our House districts, we stayed in the same districts, 94th and 95th, but the map still changed them. So some people that were in the 94th are now gonna be in the 95th.
So
So we've already updated our voter registration system with those.
if it changes again, you'll have to go through that process again.
Well, and that's the other thing we need to find out, because in talking with Triad, our vendor, Mandy was saying, now, do we have to send those letters out to those voters that have now changed House districts? And he said, no, he says, you're not changing. This is from the vendor. We're gonna get confirmation from the Secretary of State. Because they didn't change their polling location, they didn't change,
Their precinct didn't
Their
change,
precinct
and where they
didn't
vote
change.
didn't change,
Right.
so.
but I suspect the Secretary of State would tell us too, yeah, because we may have to send those letters out to them again.
Right.
Maybe we don't have to let them know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
so and going
I just see a lot of
forward-
confusion with voters saying,
Well, yeah.
well, I always lived in the 94th.
Yeah,
and
and now
about
it's
in
gonna
the
be a different
95th.
candidate, and they'll get information from a candidate they perhaps have not.
Didn't before.
Yeah,
And we might wanna do maybe a press thing or something. too.
well, I think,
We can maybe
I think it's gonna
figure
be incumbent for us to really let the poll workers try to explain it to them, because I'm sure they're gonna get a lot of questions on election day.
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
Well, I mean, well,
It depends, right? Everything is dependent.
Important maybe to make a decision and then,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
But unfortunately, if it changes again, we have to recode
Which
Some
luckily
of it.
it wasn't too.
It wasn't too
Wasn't too
hard, but I
hard,
tell you,
but-
our vendors, poor Ryan, he is just ready to pull his hair out, I think, but,
Yeah, they're all getting kind of worked to death trying to get stuff.
yeah. But,
So you have the data easily accessible so that like if they cut the county, you know exactly which
Well,
cut
they'll have to
is?
tell us.
I mean, 'cause that's what.
Yeah,
we
they have to
don't
tell
have
us.
GIS, software,
Oh,
so we have to send it to Buckeye Hills, and Jason has to tell us.
okay, and so they do that though?
Yeah, they'll do
Okay,
that.
that's
They'll do
fine,
that
that's
for
fine.
us, yeah.
Well, and they'll
Okay.
send us a legal description too that says which townships or
Okay.
cities are in them.
But
Well,
again, we
assuming
have
it's
to
two townships.
remember,
Yeah.
it's where you lay your head. And if
Right.
a house
Right.
is split down the middle, which has happened, we have to get personal and say, well, where do you sleep?
Which side? East, north, west?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So it'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
All right. One other piece of correspondence that just came is the Senate has made an amendment to the UACABA ballots. It was actually attached to an organ donation bill. And so this just got passed on Tuesday. And it's a result of a discussion between the Department of Defense and the Secretary of State. And what it's going to do, if you recall, when it comes to ballots, we always had that 10-day receipt period where it had to be, stamped at the post office. It was posted on such and such a date. So if it was the day before, and then we get it within 10 days. Well, as it pertains to UACABA, instead of 10 days, it will now be 20 days. But the ballot had to be put into an envelope and either signed with the date or it got some kind of postage where it's a little unclear. That has to be done by the close of polls on May 3rd. So I'm not, they just sent us this without much of an explanation, came from Aaron Ackerman, but it doesn't tell us necessarily if there's a time period, what the time period is after 20 days. Because we would typically do everything, as you recall, we had that 10-day period and then there's the next, was it 7 or
Yeah.
days that we had
And
to
then
have
there's
a
7
meeting?
days to cure them, and then the 10 days for them to come in the mail.
Right,
And then it's about, I think at 11 days, we
Oh.
have to start
All
the
right.
meeting, have to start doing the canvas.
right. So I don't know how that's gonna play out with this 20-day period. If there's a silver lining in it for us, it's that this particular election, the history of UACABA is maybe, I think you thought at 8 to 10 ballots. We've only had one request so far. Presidential, it was more in the
Like
30, 50,
Yeah.
bigger numbers. So it could be that whatever we have, we may actually get back before 20 days. So probably at our next meeting, and hopefully there'll be more information
Hopefully
provided
we'll have a directive.
that will answer some questions about when we do this, how we do it, as it relates to the overall election. Because it won't be final until we have that final canvas.
So is this passed and been
Yes.
signed by the
Well, I
governor?
don't know if it's
I
been
don't think
signed
it's been
and
signed
passed.
yet,
All right.
but it's.
But I'm assuming everything else they've been doing on elections, they're doing it such that it happens quickly. It's been all emergency and so forth, so I'm guessing this has to be, because it was voted, I think it was a unanimous vote. So I'm certain they're gonna wanna make that law right away. One other, I didn't see on here unless Oh, yeah, we'll get to grant funding in a minute
Mhm.
and so forth. Do we have any candidates that we have to now are certifying? Are we doing any of that?
Yeah, I had to contact the candidates for the 95th to find out if they were planning on moving. I didn't hear from either one. Both of them currently live. Don Jones is from Harrison County, and all of Harrison County is incorporated in the 95th. And the other gentleman from St. Clairsville, can't think of his name, the Democrat running. All of St. Clairsville is in the 95th. So I didn't have to, neither of them had to move because they are
There's
actually.
where they're gonna be good.
Yes. So, we had to certify their petitions as the most populous county.
When?
Well, we have them, so I don't know if she's gonna bring him in today.
If you can't see, Mandy's departed for the moment, so.
So I think we can go ahead, you guys can go ahead and vote on them and we can certify them.
Well, I noticed it's business, but I don't see anything to look at.
She went to go get them, I bet. So,
Well, while I have while we're doing this, our next scheduled business meeting would be, the regular meeting is dated April 13. And I can tell you from my perspective, it's a bad day. So I can't make it. So if the other three can, that's fine. But I cannot be here on the 13th.
Can you Zoom?
No, I'll be in the hospital having surgery.
Oh,
okay.
that's an excuse.
Yeah.
That's a legit, you know?
I won't be Zoom.
You won't be happy about it.
I was gonna say, yeah, I wouldn't wanna Zoom that.
Yeah, well, they call it surgery. I'm having a kidney stone lithotripsy
Ooh.
smash, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, early voting,
Well, time out.
Okay.
Kadeen, is the 13th otherwise good for you?
Yes.
Charlie?
Yeah, it's fine.
Robin?
Yep, I'll be here.
Okay, so we'll just keep it on the 13th. You can let me know what happened.
All right.
All right.
We'll keep it under control.
Oh, sure.
okay.
All right, so the petitions that we need to certify, we have, and this is for the 95th House District, William Ryan, who was running as a Democrat, and Don Jones, who was running as a Republican. And so these were sent to us from Guernsey County, which is where they had to file before we became most populous in the last set of maps.
So, one question I have, so we go through this process and we certify, and then they change the maps again. Does that mean we'll have to decertify and send it to some other county potentially?
Yes.
Maybe Guernsey? You said they go back to Guernsey?
Right. And they are mailing us, because of course, the candidates pay a filing fee when they turn their petitions in. So they're mailing us the check, or their auditor's office is cutting a check for us.
Oh, so we get the money.
We get the money as the most
And then,
populous county.
and then if we have to send it back, we have to send the money.
Yeah, so potentially we might have to cut a check and
We
send
have
it
to
back.
cut a check for that.
Oh, this is someone
Oh,
else.
joy, okay.
Yes. I always like to say we do the hokey pokey.
Yeah.
Turn
Sure
yourself
are this
around. So this is all the stuff that Guernsey County collected from them, so. Which that's for the financial disclosure.
Yeah, it's just a peculiar two.
Yeah.
Looks almost like July, which hasn't,
Oh, what they were.
hasn't arrived.
So then we'll have to send out, once we certify them here today, we have to send out to The other counties that are in the 95th House District, which are Harrison, Noble, Belmont, and then Guernsey. And we'll have to send them notification that we've certified these candidates and they need to put them on their ballot.
So we're more populous than Guernsey now?
Yes, only not populous than the whole county, but they're only
In the portion.
partially, yeah, in the portion
only
that's in
have-
the 95th, yeah.
Because I didn't think we were in Belmont, but they don't have the whole county in Belmont.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so,
So
the
that's-
Noble County and Harrison are completely in the 95th.
You're right, you're right.
And they're teeny counties.
I think they had, he said 14,000 voters.
Something like that, yeah.
Or population. I don't know if that was all voters, but it was their population.
And we're still split, right?
Yeah, we're still.
Western versus-
Yeah.
So we have less people though that are, we were kind of half and half before, and so now we have less people in the 94s and more people in the 95th.
Yeah, that's where I am, was the 94.
So I think, so now I
Which-
think all of that.
Which township do you live in?
Not in Decatur. So I'm
That
west.
state, you
Yeah,
stayed in the
yeah.
95th, or 94th, I mean, then. Because Decatur stayed in it, Dunham Township is still in the 94th. Belpre and Belpre Township, are still in the 94th.
But Belpre is
Fairfield, I
now
think it
in
was.
95?
No, they're in.
So all of Belpre is in 94?
Yeah,
Okay.
But part of Marietta was split
Yeah,
between it, and now all of Marietta's 95th.
okay.
So,
Which is better.
That is,
yeah, I mean, it makes it easier, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I've looked at all of them. They appear to be documented and so forth with sufficient signatures. So I think we can go ahead and certify them. Robin, do you want to make the motion? since you
yes, I'll
see it?
make a motion to certify the petitions filed by Donald Jones for the Republican primary and William Ryan for the Democratic primary for State House 95.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and seconds. Or any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes.
And then we can sign when the meeting's over their certificate.
Yeah. Well, we can start signing,
Which
or is it
just
just
me
you?
and you.
Okay,
Yeah, just me.
Okay,
great,
well, we signed the minutes, so.
Yeah.
yeah.
The ballot order numbers, I didn't get my spreadsheet completely, completed for it. But if we wanted to go ahead and vote on our amount, to order, it has to be, let me find the page so I can read it.
This is where we get to waste money.
Okay, so for us, we're considered a county that provides ballot on demand at a polling location, as well as pre-printed ballots, because of our touch screens. So it says the board must provide each precinct at least 5% more ballots than the total number of electors that voted in the previous election. So that would be 2018.
Oh, we don't go back to 2016
We
to
don't
the
have to.
governor's race?
Or 16 was president.
You understand what you,
Oh,
what you
18, yeah,
just
that's
heard?
22, that's right,
Yeah.
okay.
I know.
This is the expenditure of money that's just it's beyond comprehension.
Yeah,
So we have to create a whole bunch of printed ballots, even though people are gonna touch screen.
They're gonna do touch
They're gonna do
screens.
touchscreen and,
Yeah.
okay,
So what we've done before is kind of divided that 5% into ones that would be touchscreen and ones that would be actual paper ones. So we've done 30% of whatever, we do that 5%, find out what that number is, and then do 30% of that as paper ballots.
Right,
That's what we've done before.
the
So then
treasurer,
the rest of it, we'll, order the paper, the ballot paper for the touch.
touch screens. Are you, are folks that are appearing by Zoom, are you okay with doing what we've done before?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Not a problem with me because we've done it in the past. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, every place requires about 7 pieces of paper, and we bring back a stack the size of Mount
But nobody
Vesuvius.
uses them, right?
Rarely, but
Have you had,
some people-
well, I guess when you go out to the car,
Yeah.
if somebody comes and needs,
Yes.
you found it out of the car, or needs a
But
signature.
occasionally people arrive and that's what they want, so paper, and of course, when we have our provisionals, we have not really used machines on provisionals, we've had them use paper.
So,
But
we have them for-
All right,
paper ballots are a big issue right now too, and we may have more people ask for them.
right. So
Yeah,
if that's good, I need a motion to approve our past practice of 30% being paper.
I'll
I'll
move,
make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, so we have a motion and second. Mrs. Ritter made the motion, Mrs. Posey in the second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Passes.
all right, and then the next thing, delivery truck rental. I wondered if we just wanted to go ahead and use United Rental again for that. I think it came up to last time $1,200, I think was right around there.
We get those big trucks to deliver the equipment.
The 26-foot box trucks
Mhm.
that we rent from them.
Yeah, that's good with me
Motion for that
again.
there, Andy?
Probably.
All right, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and use United for our trucks to take care of the precincts.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes.
And then next on there, we had where the people from the shredding company came up and picked the retention items to take them to shred. We kind of talked about that, but they had 2 vans they brought in to take it all away. And like we said before, it was almost 3,500 pounds.
Do we have to share that certificate that we got from him with the secretary?
I don't think so. I think we just had to keep it.
We did get a certificate saying that yes, everything was shredded. And this guy's done
And it
in
gets
several other
recycled.
counties, so we felt comfortable when using him.
And I think maybe some other people for the county, other different county offices here have used them.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they were already on our vendor list.
Yeah.
So somebody must have. But those get recycled too, so could be turned into paper or napkins or something.
Great.
Yep.
I'll be looking forward when I go to Bob Evans.
And then the registration readiness letters, that was what we talked about with the one directive, the 2022-23. And we mailed those out yesterday, and there was like 1,100 of those.
But you don't, even if they don't respond, we're not erasing them from the primary, right? It's just.
Yeah, we
it'll
can't
just be
delete them until, it'll be over the summer.
Right.
They have to respond. And the letters are pre-printed, I think, with the date they have to respond by. So,
But out of the 1,100, probably 700 will be returned.
Undeliverable.
Changed.
Oh, with no,
Yeah.
move, no address.
Yeah.
And we did have, we don't have the bill for it yet, but Triad, so it's not on there, but we had Triad print the letters and fold them for us and send them to us. And we just do them, they offer, you can do them in color now or black and white. We just do the black and white because it's cheaper.
Mhm.
Okay,
And then I don't know if we had any discussion on the,
Well, I just want to say, with everything that's going on with this primary, thank God we didn't change locations for voting purposes for this primary.
well, potentially, yeah, we could have had a headache of telling people 2 and 3 times where to go vote to
Yeah.
the point that,
So right now in New Bath, we're still at the library?
Yes, this time. But come November, we're gonna be
We'll
in
be at the
schools.
school, and so the school's already agreed to that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And what about the other schools? Where are we with
We're
that?
still, we need to set up a time where the board can go look at Warren,
Mhm.
because we'd like to move all of Warren into Warren schools. We're gonna go to Waterford High School. You need to decide on Lowell. I talked to Stephanie. Starcher again, so, but again, this is for November. We don't have to worry about it now. She did tell me that, their buses go between there at 8:45 and 9 o'clock. But she said the parking lot would be available to us for parking. So at the Lowell School, if you remember, there was a door down at the far end,
I think we went to.
and people could come through there, but they have to walk by classrooms, I think the library.
Well.
So we may reconsider that.
Where is
Actually, I
Lowell
think I already
currently?
put it in.
They're Beverly,
So Lowell goes to Beverly.
yes. They're not happy about it, but they're going to.
Right,
And then we're just moving Beverly to Waterford.
Waterford.
So that is that's about 12 miles,
Yeah.
I guess, for people that live in Lowell. And I also did go out and look at, what was that?
Low-
Cutler's Community Center.
Yeah, the tri-state.
Woo! That is out there.
What do you mean? That's just right up the road for me.
My God.
They have a nice facility. They can handle whatever you got.
It is, but I don't know, I think people will want to go, the Warren schools are new. I think that they would want to showcase those. I know the commissioners are really, that's the one thing that Commissioner Schilling did ask me the other day. Are you gonna go to Warren? So,
Well, I don't know what Warren has in mind, but, the old auditorium and gym is separate from the high school
Yes.
and the middle school and the elementary school. So on that day, they wouldn't even have to close
Exactly.
the school because you could go to that facility.
I didn't know how the old gym and the auditorium, because I think we could go into that gym. and
Yeah,
you could vote all
Everything,
Warren.
yes, you could.
Yeah.
And you come in that one door, it's right to the right. I mean, it's
Yeah.
right there. It's separated by, 3 or 4 lane road, and there's parking along, all along on the back there. So it shouldn't be,
Yeah,
as long as there's no practice or anything else
Yeah.
scheduled, but
well, they couldn't.
They know on that day.
But
Yeah,
at least they know.
they'd know, yeah.
so, but I'm glad we're not doing that until November.
The only other issue was Lower Salem,
Yes, that I need to work
their
with,
facility,
yes.
that township facility.
Yeah, Janet Kidd came to our last meeting and spoke. She's the
Right.
treasurer clerk for Lower Salem, and asked if you guys would consider the community building now. And
Well,
we did say that we
We
go out
need
and look
to
at it.
take a look. If you guys can get out there and take pictures,
Okay,
that would be good.
okay.
What's the difference?
Well, right now, they're at Paw Paw, which is not ideal.
Yeah, that
It's
is
a little
not-
church.
Yeah.
And so, we like Lower Salem Gym
Mhm.
because it's separate from the school as well. They did do some upgrades as far as ADA. It's not ADA compliant,
Right.
but it's
Getting there.
getting there. Dennis thought that, and I talked to Stephanie and they're more than willing, she said we would just need to work with their maintenance crew and, they would do the contracting, but if we had grant money that we could, it's just like a sidewalk, there was some chips in it and cracks or something
But they
and.
got the right push doors? Or they have to change the door?
Do you guys remember that, Charlie?
Whatever the door thing is, there's.
The door at Lower Salem?
Because it has to have a lease where you can like get it with your elbow.
I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah, or like a closed.
Is Charlie still on?
Can't you push it?
Anything?
or not?
Anyways, we can't remember.
Go out, so.
When we go out to Salem, I'll look at that again too and see, but do we have any or ADA money left?
No.
We don't.
Well, what about the community building? Do we know whether or not that?
She
is
said they
compliant?
did upgrades too, but that's what we have to go check
Okay,
out.
so you'd have to look at that,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. All right.
Speaking though of grant funding, we are getting around 72, I think it was 72.
$70,645 or something.
From the secretary, well, it's, the Secretary of State is providing us, but it was voted on, by the
In the Senate
legislature
House
to
last-
provide.
This week.
So we were at least gonna get 35, but we got 70,000, but there are certain things we can use it for. Which are administrative costs, which includes Costs incurred by the board staff for overtime or hiring or training temporary staff, for data entry, it says. Voting machine programming, reprogramming, testing and training costs. Assuring that we have accurate voter rolls, poll worker recruitment and training, review and improvement of processes to promote board efficiency. Vendor expenses, so costs we would pay our vendor for like ballot printing setup, election management setup, any GIS and mapping. Ballot production increases, so costs incurred by the board for expediting the printing of ballots. Restructuring existing contracts for absentee ballot outsourcing, which we don't currently do, but changes to the number of pages per ballot style and setup costs. In additional pre-approved purposes, we may ask for permission in writing for something. So we have to clarify how that relates to administering this 2022 primary election.
And one of those somethings that we're considering, or we'd like for the board to consider is, Wasco no longer does our county mail. We have to take it down to the commissioner's office every day. And they stamp our envelopes, but we need to seal ours. Well, part of the problem when you have a large mailing like we did this week,
The 1,100.
the 1,100 pieces of mail that we sent out, because we use those.
They look like
things.
bingo numbers, but
Yeah.
they're the envelope ones.
Well, those envelopes will stick together, and when they go through the commissioner's machines, it won't postmark.
If they're,
the
they'll
envelope.
stick together and.
So there's a machine we understand that Union County has that folds, stuffs, and seals letters. So if we can use some of this 70,000 for that machine, I think that would help us tremendously. It can do absentees.
Well, absentees, I don't know that we can do.
Oh, really?
Just maybe the sealing
The
part,
sealing,
but
maybe.
I don't know the stuffing.
No, we'd have to do the stuffing.
That's right, you would have to.
Yeah,
We
we
would
still
wanna do
have to do
that.
the stuffing on that. But it would be very beneficial, especially when we're doing a large mailing like that.
So this machine that Union County uses, if they seal it, the sealing process is such that they don't stick when you put it through the
It must
stamper.
not be, because that way
Okay.
then we would take it down to the commissioner's office and they just run it through their postal
Okay.
meter.
And it would be, last year we did like the FIS-NCOA mailing, we mailed out almost 6,000
Yeah.
at the end of last year, and some of the board came in and helped us stuff envelopes. So that'd be much better than sealing each of those
Yeah.
individually.
Yeah. So we're gonna look, and hopefully maybe next meeting we can have a couple of them that you guys can look at and we
I
can
don't
decide.
think we can wait.
You know?
No. The problem we have, as I see it, we have to have this machine for this election,
Yeah.
not for some glorified election to come next year. Because the money, the explanation we have to give is this election. So if we're waiting until April, then they're gonna look at it and go, well, all of that's done.
That's true.
You're not accomplishing anything.
Can we move to empower Mandy to request this, and if approved, go ahead and purchase it? Can we do
Yeah,
that
well,
today?
I think not to exceed, the Union County told us theirs ran around 4,000.
Yeah, and that was about
So-
5 years
So
ago.
I'm figuring we ought to say 7,500.
Yes, I agree. So I move to empower us to request permission from the Secretary of State to purchase a machine up to the amount of $7,500.
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Thank you. I just think we're going to be giving some of this money back.
That's right.
The other thing I think we've done in the past is that when we've hired extra people, we of course pay them. But our staff, we have used our flex comp time. I believe the way I read this grant is that we can use this money, the 70,000, to pay overtime, and I think we ought to pay overtime to our staff
rather than.
because we're always fighting that comp flex time
Right.
that is a huge number that we can't get down because we run into 2 elections a year
Right.
where whatever time they take off, it goes right back up to those large numbers. But here's a chance to spend the state's money, quite frankly, and not county funds on overtime. And it just
Agreed.
seems to me to make good sense to pay it as overtime and not have them add comp time. So I think the board needs to say that that's how we're going to do it as it relates to our staff. And obviously we'll be hiring people, but we've always paid them because they don't get comp or flex.
Does it say, that do we have to, for instance, certify to the Secretary of State that it's monies that we're spending above and beyond what we would normally spend? Or does it just say for training, for this and that? Because if it just says for training, why couldn't we use this money for all of those things?
Yeah, the board may only expend the funds provided for the following purposes. Administrative costs, the cost incurred by the board for staff overtime
All right, that's
and
cool.
hiring and training of temporary staff.
It could be anybody, so
Yeah.
it doesn't say above and beyond what you
Yeah.
normally do.
No.
So we could use that, to cover all of our
Oh, we
costs.
would, yeah, we would.
Sure.
And what do you guys think of that, our Zoom folks?
I absolutely agree.
It saves money.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because otherwise I see us, at the end of the day, we have to return what we don't spend.
No, let's not do that.
Well, and the other thing is, like you say, we're gonna run into, if we do have 2 primaries,
Then that's extra.
that's gonna be,
That's
that's
gonna
gonna
be
be
extra,
even more.
extra.
Right,
And then starting September 1, after Labor Day, it's,
Yeah. we're-
Well, but
To
again,
the
all of
pedal, to
this,
the metal.
the other thing is, by August, we have to have sent them all our billing, for lack of a
Yeah.
better phrase. So this is this primary, and that's why I think we have to act on stuff today and not wait,
Well,
because
do we
we
have
want to
to-
get this lined up.
We don't have to act on it today, we just have to have an understanding of what we're gonna
Right.
do. And then when the bills come in,
Yeah.
we say, apply to here.
We just
Yeah.
have to
Yeah, we
document
just say,
it.
apply
Right.
it here.
Right, I mean, we'll document
Right.
what's,
Yeah.
how much we're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
To approve.
So
this.
maybe go through everything and identify everything that we got. Well, why not? The GIS, because we have to, you have to do that.
I think there's gonna be more money. I mean, I've talked to our vendor, I think if we do have another primary, they're gonna have to give us even more money.
More than.
I think they'll
oh,
try,
okay.
because
All
we
right.
haven't ended up having another.
You mean if we have to have a second one?
Yeah.
Right, a second.
Yeah.
Not necessarily if they
Yeah.
delay it,
Right.
but we still may have more costs if the Supreme Court comes up with a map that's different.
Right,
Then we will have more GIS and mapping and all that.
more is everything.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah,
all right.
But can the Supreme Court?
Okay, so I think as it relates to the board's practice of comp flex time, I would like a motion that we will utilize the state grant money, I think is the best way to explain it, for purposes of changing our compensation for the staff for this primary election.
I
Does
so
that make
moved.
sense?
Okay, Kadeen said,
Kadeen's moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes.
I just have one quick question.
Yep.
Is it still time and a half for the clerks? And then straight time for Mandy and I?
I would say that was.
I'm gonna say that's probably what it's
That is-
been,
that
and
is-
so I don't, I think it's probably the way it has to be.
Yes, I think that's.
I mean, if it turns out you guys are entitled to time and a half, we're not griping about it. I'm just saying I have no, I think in the past, because
I
of
think that's what it is.
your
Exactly.
compensation
Yeah.
by statute, it's
Exactly.
just straight time.
Yeah, that's fine. No
Yeah.
problem.
But yeah, so you'll get a little more in your check and PRS and whatnot, so. And you'll pay more taxes.
Right.
The world smiles.
It does. We had our poll worker training days.
I do have them scheduled, but the Secretary of State has said that if they have been trained in the last 3 years, 3 elections, 3 years, no, it was 3 years. They do not have to be trained again. All new poll workers have to be trained. And right now, I don't have any brand new poll workers. Now, I do have to have voting location manager training because we like to talk to those people first to make sure they understand. Plus, there's a new way of shutting down the freedom vote
Yeah.
and the
So we
scanner
wanna-
and the
No,
OEO.
just the freedom.
Just the freedom vote.
Yeah.
So Ryan will be coming in for that. I have had a couple people say that they would like to come in for the training, so if they want to do that, I will just do one
Do the
class. So, but I'm keeping the reservation over at the EOC just in case. Right now I have, I think, 60 poll workers and I'd like to have 100. So, I have not heard from the central committee people yet. Normally what they do is, it's good for November and the following primary. So I need to confirm with some of those people, because I haven't heard from the central committee people that do designate somebody. So, I'm in need of Ds as always.
And then you were gonna try to do youth at the booth.
Yes, I have yet to start on youth at the booth, as I told Mandy yesterday, because I'm just a little worried about confusing people. Because, we really right now, I know where, the standard line is May 3rd. So I am gonna go ahead and send out emails to all of the government teachers in the county, as well as, and do you have a contact at Veritas, Kadeem?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, oh, you, okay. I'll send it to you then. Because we want to involve those kids if they'd like to get involved as well, so. But
Got one for you already.
I'm very pleased once again. All of our poll workers that I emailed, I've only had 5 people say that they could not do it this time, but they want to do it in November. We are offering CLEs for the attorneys again. As well as social workers, and I don't know that I've had any social workers work as a poll worker, but
But they would get credit.
they would
if
get
they-
credit if they do,
Check
so,
with Annelle,
yeah,
because she's a social worker.
is she, okay. So anyways, but, I don't have to worry about people coming in, and I think, with, the pandemic going down a little, maybe our numbers are down, that we are gonna see a lot more people out at the polls. If we know which day we're gonna send them.
Well, at this point, we have to plow forward,
Yeah,
and I
Yeah, I
think,
think as May 3rd.
yeah, and let's try to keep this as a positive thing that it's May 3rd.
okay, yeah, okay, I will do that.
All right.
And then I didn't get it on the, I forgot to put it on the agenda, but we had to turn in, by March 1st, our 2021 annual expense report of the board. So that was completed, we turned it in. And then, so if you want, I can email you guys a copy. Then we have a copy here for everybody.
I'll call you back when I get done with my meeting online.
So,
Okay, that's all right. Okay, I'll call you back. Oh, okay, bye.
Yeah, we spent money.
One other thing that wasn't on there, the first NAS called yesterday, I need to get a hold of Jed. I know the last meeting we talked, Westfall was waiting for the door to be delivered.
And
And we haven't heard since your last meeting, the 28th, so.
but they were just, the church
Well, the
just called
church
for an
called.
update. Yeah, they just called for like an update.
so the answer is, we haven't put a door up for them.
Not yet,
Right.
so
Well,
I'll get a
yeah,
hold of Jed
let's-
today and,
Let's
yeah,
step on them.
yeah.
What'd somebody do, just bang on the door or something, or?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We got a delivery
The
door,
door.
mash the door.
Oh,
It's not terrible.
Yeah,
The
but
door
still.
still shuts, so
Yeah.
at least it's
Yeah,
functions.
But that's not right. We gotta fix it.
but we managed to
Sure.
fiddle frog around with insurance, et cetera, because we can't be sued, so it's, there's no insurance coverage. But
Really?
we're gonna fix
Well,
it
yeah, fix
anyway.
it, absolutely.
Unless it's in an automobile.
Yeah,
It's,
Which it was.
I know, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
well, nobody wanted to
and
fight.
how much are you paying for insurance? No.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I think we're all set.
Yep,
Good.
All right, our
so,
next meeting, you guys will have a great time, and I'll have a thrilling time.
You just,
will you guys be here live?
I will be, yes.
Okay.
Robin,
do.
our tradition has been that the member of the board from the opposite party of the Secretary of State is chairman. So that's going to have to be you on April 13th.
Yeah,
oh, okay,
yeah.
Right,
cool.
Baptism by fire.
Woo-hoo. I can read an agenda. I can say, hey, let's vote. Okay, I can do that. Thanks, Kadeem. I'll look forward to that.
All righty.
motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, Aaron.
Charlie?
Yeah, Kadeem seconded, we're good. All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, have safe travels.
Yes, safe
etc.
travels.
Thank you.
It's snowing. What's it like in Texas?
It was cold yesterday, actually. Today's much better.
Oh, boy.
Today's in the 60s.
Ah,
As I look out the window, it's snowing. All
open weather.
right, guys, we'll see ya. All righty, bye-bye.
Bye.